with us for God knows how long. I can't believe that, my class.
2008.
2008, 15 years. We've seen their kids growing up. Their kids are in bed right now, but they'll see tomorrow.
They're not in bed.
No? Probably out drinking. So just by way of introduction, for those who don't know, how long has this podcast been going, Wes?
July 2020.
July 2020.
We sold our television show. We were unemployed with twins on the way, and I needed extra revenue.
So this is it. Podcast. So for those who don't know who Wes Iseli is, he's a great photographer, does a lot of photographs for MAES. More importantly, he is a fantastic performer. They do a lot of shows. A lot of shows. And he'll tell you more about all that stuff. But he was on Penn and Teller Coolest. Not only did he fool Penn and Teller, but Penn and Teller now do the trick that he fooled them with. That's pretty darn cool. So please welcome my friends, the Isleys.
400 shows a year. I'm just doing what I love with the people I love. It's my magic life.
I like Wes Iseli. I like everything about him.
That was Penn Gillette with that introduction. I like Wes Iseli. I like everything about it. Man, that feels good. I told some people back there, I've become friends with Penn over the years, since 2020. And every time I see him, I'm like that little boy. I'm like, Nat, it's Penn. And then it's like, we're friends. Yeah, it's Penn. And he texts me, we call, it's awesome. But every time I see him in person, I get starstruck. I love Penn and Teller so much. But we're doing a live podcast. If you're listening to this at home, we are here live at MAES. It is like 10 o'clock at night. Let me hear you guys.
Feels good.
I love you guys. That sounded like a room full of people. That was awesome. So Natalie and I first started coming to MAES in 2008. That was the year we got married.
It was.
We competed in the competition.
Yep.
People patted us on the back, but we got no awards.
Got nothing.
Um,
It was fun though. It was fun.
I competed against the likes of Vince Mendoza over there in the audience. And, I was telling a little girl, I said, competition isn't like that though, honey. It's awesome. Vince is one of my best friends in the world. Dude, I love you, man. But that was my competition a few years ago. That's how crazy it is here. George G over here, competition. I love that dude. I love that dude. But we only missed 1 year because they moved the date. Mark, don't move the date, man. We booked 400 shows a year. You can't move the date on us. We only missed 1 year.
And you were bummed. He was bummed, Mark. Very bummed. This is the one convention he can come to. And he's going to come.
We need to trade microphones.
Puppy dog.
This is
Oh.
ridiculous. Yeah. If you listen to the podcast, she is like a mouse, and we need to hear her. No, I want to hear this later on. Let me hear you, Matt.
Hi, everybody.
But over the years, we did a pre-show intro here with Marc DeSouza over here. But over the years, I've become the photographer here at MAES. I do their social media for them. This year, I am the vice president. What does that mean? I'm really not sure. But next year, I get to be president. And I was thinking, we have a television show in syndication called Wes Iseli's Magiclife. It follows my family around doing 400 shows a year. Golden Media Syndication gets that out. If you have cable or satellite, or you have Roku or Amazon Fire, you can see our television show. Golden Media Syndication just had to sign a contract where our podcast is now a video cast. Will also be on Golden Media Syndication, and you can find it all those different places. That's pretty awesome. That's also called Wes Iseli's Magiclife podcast. When I'm president, I get a decree of some kind. So I was thinking it was Wes Iseli's Magiclife, Magic Convention.
I don't think they're going to change
No, nothing like that. I don't know.
Nice try.
But how long has MAES been running? Does anybody know? What year is this?
39.
The first convention was 1940.
The first convention was 1940. My phone's being used. I can't do the math, but that's a long time. Guys, I love this. Good job, honey. You got a mic. Put it here. Anyway, so I could talk all night long, but we got a room full of people. I have to get up here on stage. It looks like Craig Diamond's done talking now. Craig, is that right? Marc DeSouza, can I get you up here for a minute?
Sure.
Marc DeSouza, everybody!
I gotta use
You
this
guys listen at home, Marc DeSouza's in the third row. He's making his way up.
Do you know what Wes tells me about you, Mark?
What?
This is what he.
It's lies. It's all lies.
No, this is gonna sound morbid. He says if I ever die, you call Mark before you sell anything, because he knows how much this stuff sells for. You just assume I'm gonna sell everything when you're dead?
Check out the auction. Mark knows everything. Mark knows it right. This was a Tenyo item that only came out in '76. This is made by Louis Fiedler, and this on eBay right now is $86. I know because I bought 4 yesterday. But if you want it today, you'll start demanding at 5. What?
Yeah, but that's just proof that I have no life.
No, that's an amazing brain. That's an amazing brain is what it is.
Well, I've been doing this a long time, so, you know, I kind of made it my business to know this stuff. It was important to me.
Yeah, but I have a magic shop now online, and I don't know the prices of everything. We did a street festival this weekend, and I brought stuff that wasn't pitch magic. And I'm like, Natalie, look at my online website. Look it up. I don't know how much it is. I don't know how much it is.
Yeah, well, you know, it's, fortunately with magic stuff, the prices are always the same. People don't generally discount stuff once in a while, but, you know. But yeah, I'm mostly into the old stuff. It's like the new stuff, it's, you know, I don't track everything. It's impossible to track everything these days, but I do my best.
I don't know, there's some cool new Tenyo stuff coming out.
Oh, absolutely. Every year. I buy all of them every year.
So we were talking, and George G showed me something in the dealer room over there, and you were president here at MAES in 1985? 86.
Yeah.
So how long have you been coming here?
A long time. This it was 85. Yeah. This is my 49th.
Yes, sir.
All right, come on, Wayne.
This is either my 59th or 60th.
Holy wow.
3 years for Wayne Allen.
That much older than me. I got booked. One of my mentors got me booked at an MAES. I think I was 18 years old in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. Craig probably remembers that, Craig Diamond. But Craig and I, that's where we met. That's where we met at the MAES. Oh, that's right. Yeah, 74 in SAM in Boston we met, right. But Craig was always at MAES also. He's a big competitor at MAES.
Mm-hmm. Back in the day.
Back in the day.
Craig's awesome. Craig's been on our podcast twice, and every time it's hysterical, it's funny, he's amazing, we love Craig.
Good energy.
But when I was driving down the road, we were 5 hours away, and one of the things Natalie and I were talking about, what do you think laymen think when you say, we're going to a magic convention? What does a layman think of magic? Because we have listeners in 52 different countries, we have magicians, non-magician listeners, they have no idea.
So the two reactions that I get are either, really? Why? You know, what do you do there? And then I tell them what we did. They go, oh, that sounds pretty cool. The other reaction I get is, oh my God, that must be so amazing. It just must be incredible. And I went, yeah, it's incredible. But, you know, magic conventions, for us who come to these things frequently, you know, we love seeing new magic. We love seeing the magicians that are booked. We love seeing the new stuff in the dealer room. But the thing we love seeing most is each other. Yeah. And the older I get, the more important it is just to hang out with friends. It doesn't matter who's booked, which is why MAES is so cool, because it's a family reunion.
You know, I only met Mike Snyder through MAES. and I cry hard at his funeral. I mean, it's a guy I see all weekend every single year, and that's it. That's all I know of him.
Yeah.
And we do 400 shows a year. I don't get to see my magic friends because we're working, they're working. We don't get to see each other. And if it wasn't for magic conventions, we wouldn't get this. So thank you for putting these on, Mark.
Oh, it's my pleasure. It's not just me. I mean, we have an amazing committee of people who work hard to put this thing together. I'm the guy that's kind of like the face. I'm the guy that introduces all this stuff. I book the talent. Yeah, but I mean, you know, between Joe Priscilla, John Weinhardt, and Mike Sloves, and John Bobick, and Arlen Solomon, and Beth Shelago. I mean, these...
They're all in the hospitality service at John.
Yeah, they're all
I'm looking around. No one's here to introduce me.
I mean, you know...
John Bobick, I said John
Bobick's here.
Oh, that's a joke.
But we have people like, you know, Conrad and Niki who help out so much with all the great tech that goes on here, and we wouldn't be able to do it without people like that. And so we have, you know, fortunately, a new generation of people. Look, I remember when, you know, I was young and I saw all the old guys who ran this convention. I'm like, look at all those old people. Those people are a whole lot younger than I am now. You know, so now I'm one of the old guys, and so we are depending on having a crop of younger people to take over this thing and keep it going. You know, we've been going for well over 75 years, and it's got to keep going way beyond that, because, you know, families don't end. You got to have the family reunion every year.
I figured we made it through COVID, we can make it through anything.
Oh.
I mean, we went online, we stayed together, we got to hang out with each other, and we still made that convention happen, guys. That's amazing, that's awesome. Yeah, but we still got to get to see magic. We got to hang out, and it was that fellowship, and you get to see your friends' faces and get to see them that weekend, that year that it was supposed to take place. Perfect.
Yeah, I mean, it's not as good as being face to face, but, you know, we managed to get through it all. And look, for a lot of us, we made a whole lot of new friends all over the world because we could get together whenever we wanted to, whatever time it was. You just press a button and, you know, you've got friends to talk to. So that's one of the amazing things about magic.
And it taught grandmas and grandpas all over the world how to use Zoom.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So everybody can do it now. Yeah, everybody can do it now. So Natalie's, I want to talk about Natalie's first magic convention because I bring her into this. I've been doing magic since I was 7 years old. Full time since '96. I meet Natalie, I take her to a magic convention. First magic convention, we walk in the dealer room, some guy goes,
Oh, no. First off, we walk in the dealer room and he's off somewhere and some guy starts talking to him and he's gone. I don't know where he is. And this guy looks me up and is very uncomfortable. Do you ever bring yourself out? I'm like, you know.
as an assistant. Come on, guys, come on.
I'm like, God, no. Wes, where are you?
That's what I heard across the room. Wes!
It's like, never leave me again. I don't want to be alone.
And at the same convention,
No offense, Natalie, but you are not a magician's dream assistant.
No.
You're too tall.
Yeah.
You have to use much more lumber to build boxes.
Very true. So, you know, I don't know why he asked me that. It was wrong.
but we said we were an illusion show,
Never.
and she's my assistant,
That's
and then I
right.
left. That's all I know. And then she was, another thing at that same convention, and you guys might have it, God bless you if you have it, that's your thing, I love you. But there was a guy walking around with a sponge tooth on his ear the entire convention, and he was pointing it out, telling everybody, it's my Bluetooth. It's my Bluetooth. That is like, these are magicians? This is what she got introduced
So
to.
yes, so when he asked me that question in the car, what do you think laymen think magic conventions? I said, I would assume that they think it's a bunch of nerds getting together and having a good time, because that was my first impression. And not that I'm not one of them, because here I am, right here I am. But you know.
All right, well, Mark, thank you so much for
Thank
coming up
you.
here, man. I'm going to kick you out.
Thanks for doing this,
It's
man.
been 12 minutes. We definitely have lots more people up here. I need my next guest. I need Mr. John back here. John, can you come up here and help me out, man? I'm talking to you, John Westford.
All right, John.
John Westford, come on. John Westford has also been on the podcast. I have no idea what episode. You guys have to go back through and listen. But the cookie outfit with the tights and the football player wearing an outfit with tights, that was hilarious. You guys got to check that out. John was one of my first feedback from my podcast. He said, dude, like I had people randomly come to me and they said they heard me on the podcast. Tell that story, John. That sounds good. That sounds like
That sounds great, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And then even old friends, like college friends I hadn't seen in a few years, have called. I didn't know you did that. I didn't know that happened. What are you talking about? Oh, I listened to your podcast on with Wes, and I'm like, that's great. So I called him and told him this is awesome. I had no idea. I was talking to Vince a little bit, and we were like, do people really want to hear about this? And we found out they do. So thank you. Yeah, it's really it was a lot of fun, and it was very enlightening.
Dude, I love comedy. I listen to podcasts that talk about comedy writing, and when I'm driving down the road, we do so many shows, a lot of windshield time. I like to listen to comedy. The jokes are great, but I also imagine the guy as an entertainer. I imagine him working the audience and pacing back and forth and what his delivery, or what my delivery would be of that joke, and I do that. So I imagine these people are listening to these road stories and be like, man, that's what it's like to be a magician. This guy got to work with Harry Blackstone Jr. on this cookie adventure that he was on. Harry Blackstone Jr., and these people are Googling who Harry Blackstone Jr. is. We have magician, non-magician listeners that have told me they're super into magic now if you listen to the podcast. So that's awesome, dude. But anytime you tell stories like that, we have a Facebook podcast group where I'll put links of Harry Blackstone Jr. doing his, did you know he sold cigarettes back in the day? Or no, cigarettes or something? Like, stop smoking magically. And I put that commercial on the podcast group after years. So it's awesome to be able to add those in and educate people further. But can you tell the cookie story? Because it's hilarious. Do you know?
So the cookie story, I assume you're talking about, I had a, part of the Nabisco Unlock the Magic campaign was doing magic in grocery stores and parking lots, and we all had a section, mine was half of Pennsylvania, and you were to take a giant mascot cookie with you, an Oreo cookie. And the costume was white tights, a brown bodysuit, and approximately a 4-foot diameter Oreo cookie that you put over the person, and their arms would come out the front. Well, the guy that I took along with me was a 235-pound rugby player who could squat 600 pounds. So his legs were getting all kinds of, that me?
I have no idea. Keep going. Here,
all right,
trade.
We'd be in grocery stores, and even though the male sex always gets the bad rap, these women, grocery shopping, were asking about the double stuffed Oreo. They were leaving their numbers with this guy. I mean, because he was solid. Well, for his part, if he was out too late the night before, he would lean himself against the refrigeration unit so that cool air would go up into the costume, and he'd be there sleeping, waving at the kids going by. I, on the other hand, had to be Mr. Happy, doing the sleight of hand and pulling cookies out of kids' ears and stuff. But the story, I digress, the story Wes wants me to tell you is we were going all over the state of Pennsylvania, and we would get a schedule for the week. You would do a show in the morning at a grocery store from like 10 to 1, and then another one in the afternoon, maybe 3 to 5, 3 to 6. And we decided the one was 2.5 hours away from home, and that we should get there the night before so we wouldn't be late. Well, we ended up at a friend's party. We were not too late. We decided we're definitely going to go tonight. We were not drinking, but we were out late. Drove straight to the grocery store. We fall asleep. We think we've got a diabolical plan. We got the alarm set. Oh, shit. Dale, what's wrong? That was the big guy. Dale, my Oreo cookie. He said, I forgot the costume. And I look behind me, and I see this big brown duffel bag that has the Oreo inside. I'm like, no, the Oreo's right there. He goes, no, my tights and my bodysuit. So off we go to a local J.C. Penney, and we're shopping in the leotard section. And the young lady says, "May I help you?" I said, "Yeah, I'm looking for some leggings and a brown bodysuit." She says, "What size is your girlfriend?" And I said, "Why don't you ask her?" And there was my friend, 235 pounds of rugby player. And we bought the leggings and the bodysuit, and anything I could think to do was grab his hand and skip out of the store with the leggings and the bodysuit. The show must go on, right?
Hey, I love it. I'm not one. Hello, test, microphone check. Is this thing on? Yes. Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. Where's your buddy now?
He's a landlord in State College, Pennsylvania. He rents to 154 college kids.
He retired the Titans?
The Tights have been retired.
John, everybody!
Hey, thank you. Great to see you. Congratulations on all your success, man.
Thanks, man.
Keep it up. Is there anything this guy doesn't do? One hand for, big hand for Wes Iseli. He does it all.
All right, Vincent Mendoza, can you come up here? Vince. Vince. This is my competition, guys. This is who I was competing against. If you see how I dress, Vince always showed up at the competitions looking immaculate. Vince had beautiful magic. Vince was doing amazing stuff, dressed to the nines, and here I am in a t-shirt and suit pants. And
No idea what you're talking about.
he's got the coolest logo. We have a recording here. That logo is awesome, dude. Diamonds, clubs, hearts, spades. Have you guys seen this? Have you seen this? It's pretty awesome. It's pretty awesome. Vince, how you been, man?
I've been good. I've been good.
We had dinner tonight. We were talking about Fectors. How's Fectors?
It's just a lot of fun this year.
So explain to everybody what Fectors is, the non-magician listeners.
Well, Vectors is a invitation-only convention that they have up in Buffalo, and we just celebrated the 50th anniversary this past year of it.
Sweet.
So yeah, so it was like,
I'm putting you on the spot, man. Okay, you're educating my wife.
Oh.
Fectors was just a close-up thing some guy was doing in a restaurant in upstate Buffalo, correct?
it started off at the Ford's Hotel.
Force.
Ford's.
Like the utensil. Ford. That's what I thought.
Cheektowaga, New York.
Cheektowaga, New York, yes. And it was Eddie Fector that would just invite magicians to start off with a handful, and then it's grown over the years. I am by no means an expert on the history.
Well, I'm putting you on the spot. That's fine. That's fine. We have people that's correcting you here. We have Marc DeSouza.
Yeah,
Marc knows. Marc is like, he knows everything.
Well, Mark was actually one of my sponsors.
Okay.
So you need two sponsors.
That's for the thing, not for alcohol.
No.
That's the getting the.
That's
Okay, I just had to clarify. People are listening. They don't know.
everything of that. Okay, but you need two people to vouch for you. And both my sponsors gave me the same piece of advice, which I can't repeat. But basically, don't.
Is that we got you. And that's all they told you.
Yeah, when you go out there, just don't.
No pressure.
No pressure.
Don't mess up.
Don't mess up. Yes, there we go.
All right, so Fector's invitation only, best sleight of hand magicians in the world. You're a part of it. You walk on that stage for the first time. Penn talks about it all the time. Imposter syndrome. You know,
I was
you got
terrified.
that.
I
Yeah.
was absolutely terrified.
What was that like?
Well, I mean,
How'd you get through?
you're standing in front of everybody that you've studied over the years, you know, and you're just looking around. I just sort of went into performance mode and just, okay, I was like, let me just do the routine. And, the best advice I got was just do the stuff that you do. Don't try to impress anybody. Don't try to, be clever. Don't try to be, stuff. I just did the routines that I did. And it was really gratifying to get the reaction from people that you looked up to. I remember off to my right, you had Paul Gertner, Boris Wilde, Henry Evans was sitting there,
And while I was working, I could hear Paul going, "What the hell is he doing? I haven't seen that before." So it was, and then afterwards I got a chance to talk to him about the routine, and he said he was even more impressed after I showed him what it was that I was doing. I mean, it's a classic routine in Magic. Everybody does their version of it, but it's the linking rings. So I came up with my own handling for the rings, and it went over really well. And I was talking actually to one of the things that would be fantastic at 4F is to get a standing ovation in the room from all the luminaries that are there. And like I said, I was so nervous. As soon as I was done, I took a bow and I walked off stage. All right, and David Cursaro, who's a good friend, told me, he was like, if you had just stood there for 5 more seconds, they were getting ready to stand up for you. So I have something in my, like, okay, so it's a phantom standing ovation. Yeah, but it was an absolute dream come true to be there with and be a part of it, and be invited back. So.
Well, one thing I know about this dude, he's also a creator. You got the rose that you renamed a couple times. I can't keep track, but you named it 2 different times, I think.
Well, the paper rose has been something that magicians have been doing. I guess it was Simon Lovell that started introducing it to everybody else. I always loved the way it looked, but I wanted it to look more real. And some of my friends call me a deconstructor because I will just take something and just break it apart down to the very basics form and then just come back from it. So I looked around. I remember years ago, a friend of mine had shown me how to make a paper chrysanthemum, but it was just a flower. And then I found, for years I couldn't figure out how to make the whole thing because I was trying to make it with one sheet of paper. And then I realized it didn't have to be just one sheet of paper. And once I realized that, I was able to make this thing that looks like a rose.
About 10 years ago, we had a German juggler on the stage that killed. The jugglers always kill at a magic convention. This guy was amazing. In the lobby, he said, "Oh, magicians," and he showed a trick. And I saw you deconstruct that trick for 4 hours.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so the way it was it only works in German. Mark might know the trick, I don't know. But it's a trick where you have to say these words in German, and when you spell those words in German, it works. And the guy's like, I don't know. You just spell these words in German. We didn't know what he was spelling. He explained it to us. We didn't get it. So he was writing down all these curse words and trying to make it just make it work. He was trying, and he was trying so hard. No, that one's got too many letters. We put that over here for 4 hours. Did you ever get anywhere with that?
No, I did not.
Do you remember doing that?
No.
It was hilarious and
I've been
all.
down so many rabbit holes. It's ridiculous. Yeah.
So, and you also did the torn and restored string, the gypsy
Yes.
thread, but you called it.
It ended up being called String Theory. A friend of mine gave me that title. Mark Sky actually gave. I did it for some guys here in Jersey, and he was like, "Oh, String Theory would be a good title." And so I called it that ever since. But the classic effect is you rip up a thread into tiny pieces, and you roll it up into a ball, and then restore it. And I didn't like. I saw some magicians doing it, but I didn't like what they were doing. Is they were licking their fingers and putting spit on the ball to roll it up. I didn't think that looked elegant. And what I wanted to see was the ripped pieces just come together. So I figured out a way where you cut up the pieces, you show the pieces, they never get rolled up, and you just, from that moment on, you just pull it apart and it becomes one piece. And I was really, really thrilled. Actually, when it was released, it was panned by some of the critics as being the worst trick in the last 100 years. Right? One particular critic said that about it, and I was laughing hysterically about it because I knew the effect that it had on people when they saw it. But everybody was saying it's impossible to do. You can't do it. And but I show you literally step by step twice how to do this thing. But I got a call from a French magician who works with Black Fingers. original, and he asked me if he could do it on French television. So it was done on the Golden Mandrakes. I think it was the 24th anniversary. So I was just completely thrilled that something that I came up with made it on French television, and now it's actually become a part of his show. And I recently got a message from Tiffany Allen, who's married to Boris a while. Boris had taken them to a show, and Boris told Tiffany, he was like, watch this particular effect that they do. And when Tiffany saw it, she wrote me, she's like, you came up with this? They do an incredible version of it. They do a really, really nice version.
Are they working together now, Tiffany and Boris?
Yeah.
Are they keeping it separate?
No,
Are they doing a double act now?
No.
They're doing
No, I don't know if it's a double act, but
they work together, but he and then her.
Yes.
Okay, got it. My favorite torn and restored gypsy thread, Ed Schmidt right back there taught it to me. He had just seen it in a lecture. He taught it to me, but it's with dental floss. Dude, there's no licking fingers because it just warms up and it makes the ball. It is so beautiful. Ed, I use it all the time, buddy. What happened the other week? We were doing close-up magic and I ran out of dental floss.
Yep.
I have to buy like 20 at a time, but you gotta get the right kind. Then you end up with a medicine cabinet of dental floss that's not good. It gets crazy. So, dude, I love you. Thank you for coming.
I love you.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you so much for having me.
Vincent Mendoza, everybody! Next to the stage,
Niki.
for you guys not knowing, we just had Lizard Man on the podcast the other week from Jim Rose Circus Sideshow. He's tattooed head to toe as a lizard. He's got these balls underneath his eyebrow of titanium.
Yeah.
He's got his tongue split. She's gonna give him a run for his money. Every year I see her, she's got more and more ink. More and more ink.
Trying.
This whole green sleeve over here is new.
Oh, this is one of the older ones.
The sleeve over here.
Yeah.
This one?
No,
This
that's the
one's-
green sleeve. I'm talking about over there, all the color.
I mean, like the song, the Irish song, Green Sleeves?
It's new. I don't know. Anyway, for you guys listening at home, she's got new tattoos. She's just not fessing up. Niki, everybody.
She carries it well.
Niki, Wayne Allen says he's been here for a while. Mark, all those guys have been here for a while, but they didn't start at 2 months old.
That's right. I'm gonna catch you.
Niki, her parents brought her. Your dad brought you. Your parents brought you.
So it was my whole family was here. I was 2 months old for my first convention. I was born in July and I was here in September. And I haven't missed one since. They don't know how old I turned for those of them that were holding me at that point.
Well, see, we met you in 2008. So how old were you in 2008? Are we allowed to ask that question?
So I'll just say I just turned 30 this past year.
Wow, pretty good.
Yeah, I still think of you as a kid. I still think of you as a kid. All these tattoos, I'm like, she's too young for these tattoos. She's too young for this.
No?
So, your parents, were they competing on stage? Were they bringing them? You held Lana on stage while we competed against Vince.
I did a babysat while you guys were in the competition.
Was your parents competing here? Were you doing that type of thing? Or were they just
I know
attending?
that a couple years ago, so my dad's a past president, and I was a past president as well. I think we were the first, like, father and son team to do that, which was really cool. Yeah, I'm good at this. I grew up here. When you said it was a family reunion, you weren't kidding. Mark was not joking. It really is, especially for me. But yeah, I think the slideshow that they did a couple years ago, we have like the beautiful projection screen that allows us to see the close-up competitions. They did some photos on there, and we were staring at it the one year, and we just kept looking, and there was something weird about the photo of like my family. My brother was there. I have an older brother who's 7 years older than me, and he was sitting with my parents, but there was this little thing off to the side. It was definitely me in a bassinet. That was my first convention. So that was really cool.
That is awesome.
So I want to know about your performance. I see pictures online. You're singing music. You're doing rock and roll music, extreme metal. What is it?
So I play in a progressive metal band called Renovare.
And your dad's in the audience here.
Yes.
And also you do this burlesque type act.
I do. We have so I started a variety troupe ultimately the point was, coming to conventions has been incredible, and I've learned so much from all of you that I felt that it was almost my responsibility to bring in more people that I felt I related to better, because there's a lot of things that we go through in this industry in particular, where you see like alternative magicians, but they're usually magicians that are kind of playing up the alternative thing instead of just people who happen to be a little more alternative doing magic the way that we want to see magic done, or ways that we relate to it. So I started a variety troupe. I grabbed a whole bunch of my friends that are super talented, and I started teaching them how to do things. And I have a wonderful group artist and people that have a little bit of background, especially with like stages and plays and different things in theater. Some of them had zero experience whatsoever, but they're really tiny and I can fit them in boxes, which is really cool. So that was super exciting. And it's called the Arcane Noir Variety Troupe, and we do basically like horror magic. It's, we have all kinds of crazy stuff that we do, but we also do some like really classic, like pretty illusions. We have a really, I think it's pretty version of a jam cube, but we use alternative music and stuff that we enjoy. So that's really cool.
But it's like a burlesque.
Some of it is. We have
It's not
3
fair.
different shows.
Your misdirections are way too slow. It's not fair.
They're also
Yeah, that's not cool. Yeah. I'm watching 2 shows at once and I can't focus on either one.
Got something for everybody too. It's fantastic. Yeah, you know it's cool because, like I said, I feel like especially coming here year after year, all my ladies in the house know that you end up on this stage at some point because there's 5 of us. So like, so I was like, how do I fix that, right? And there is one dude in the variety troupe, and it is one dude, one person who's non-binary, and 7 women.
Nice.
And it's sick. It's really fun. We have a good time.
So, website for the music, website for the variety troupe.
Yeah, Renovare is my band. It's like renovate, but with an R. It means to renovate or renew. We're a progressive metal band that focuses on emotional honesty. We're getting to see us. Yeah, we have a really, really good time. And then variety troupe is the Arcane Noir Variety Troupe. And that's on all social media platforms as well. And hopefully we'll get to perform with some other really talented magicians soon.
Awesome.
Niki Gailbraith, guys. All right. I have been looking the entire convention. We are, 5 hours into the convention right now? It's just gotten started. And I've been looking for the president the whole time. And I looked up and I saw him sitting in the front row. Mr. President, can you come up here and talk to us? Larry, everybody. Am I supposed to salute or something? I'm vice president. What am I supposed to do? I don't know how to do the correct things. They have to walk me through all of that. Robert's Rule of Order, Robert's Law, whatever. I don't know that stuff. I don't know. Just help me. They just pick me up and put me where I need to be. And what do I need to do? I need to sign. I shake a hand. I hand this. I don't know what to do.
We don't pay a lot of attention to Robert's rules here.
They do. They do, though. They do it for real. So I need help. And anyway, how long have you been coming here?
I'm not even certain at this point. First time was a whole bunch of years ago. Moved out of town and missed for quite a while, and I've been back for a long time now. I'm not even certain just how many years.
So you're not certain 30 years? You're not certain 60 years?
Certainly not 60 years in a row. We want to say 30, say 30 right there.
All right. So I only know you from being in the Robert's Rule room over there where people put me around and doing. I don't know you at all, except you're my president, and I honor you, sir.
Thank you so much.
Tell me a little bit about yourself.
Been doing magic a long time. I direct the magic program at the French Woods Festival of Performing Arts, which is the world's largest performing arts summer camp. We pull from 40 different countries. Wow. My staff this year was remarkable. We got one of our guys here now, as a matter of fact.
Must be a slip. Nobody's raising their hand.
I don't see him right now. That's all right.
All right.
It was absolutely amazing. We've been doing magic. I've had 15 years at this particular camp. And I've got kids doing card tricks, coin tricks, chopping off people's heads, slicing people in half, anything with sharp, stabby objects. The kids are really attracted to that.
Anything dangerous, blood, whatever. Yeah, they love it.
They're big on this.
So is that something like grant money brings them in, or is it like tannins?
No. Tannins is a single.
I've No idea.
Everybody in Tannins is already a full-blown magician. They love magic. They eat, sleep, drink, breathe magic. Tannins is all about the competition at the end of the week. French Woods, they've got a whole bunch of other things. Theater, primarily. We've got more than 80 theatrical shows in the course of the summer. I saw Lin-Manuel Miranda there this summer. His kid was there. Tony Hawk is there. Lots and lots of famous people have their kids who go to this particular camp. It ain't cheap. And the magic department is, I've been building it up for 15 years. So it is a big draw. Whereas some of the programs might have 6 to 10 kids in them. We pull 60 during a given period.
So it's not just a magic camp?
No,
I got lost there.
Specifically not just a magic camp.
Okay.
Magic. They do theater, they do dance, they do music, they do magic, they do circus, world's largest children's circus already. It's pretty cool, actually.
And how many kids do you think is registered each year?
Hundreds, a couple of thousand. It's a big camp.
All right.
Yeah.
How long does it last?
3-week sessions.
Okay.
Starts in June, goes into September. I got back 2 days ago.
So how many different groups do you get through?
5, actually.
Wow.
So, and then they break a day up into a major period, something the kids are going to do every single day. You are in guys and girls, you're going to be rehearsing during this particular hour. That makes sense. Those are major periods. Minor periods are electives. You do whatever you want during that particular period. Magic, we have 34 different electives. Unlike Tannins, that's what you were saying, I've got a lot of kids who have never done magic before. It looks cool. We've got a ceramics department. The person who runs ceramics knows a ton. She is a top-notch artist. She mixes her own glazes. She can tell you why applying this glaze to this clay that has a higher iron content than that clay, you're going to get a different result. Kid just wants to play in the clay, wants to make an ashtray for mommy. I get a lot of kids who want to do the magic equivalent of playing in the clay. And then I've got a handful of kids who love magic. Ben Zabin is one of my guys. He's now doing his first residency in Vegas with Smokus Pocus, which is a marijuana-themed magic show. And it's very, very popular. Proud of him.
Very cool. Very cool. Yeah, man. So do they end up taking things home? Are they making things there?
Oh my God, they take a lot of stuff home. The most popular minor on campus is something called Trick of the Day. During Trick of the Day, I perform the trick, I teach them the trick, we hand them the trick. They have to take it home. At the end of the summer, mommy says, honey, where are all your towels? Well, I left them up at camp, but just look at all this magic doing. Yeah.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
That is awesome.
So what kind of shows do you do?
I do a little bit of everything. I do the big stuff, I do a lot of small stuff. I still, on a weekend, I will still do kids' birthday parties because I firmly believe that children can tell the difference between good and bad. There's an awful lot of bad out there, as you know, and they deserve to see good. So, everything.
If they're going to see it, they might as well see it.
And a lot of teaching. During the winter, the JCC hires me to come in and do an after-school program. I do a bunch of those things. And at French Woods, I have become a much better teacher than I ever used to be. After 15 years of doing it over and over and over and over, you get good at it.
So what's the repeat like? Do they come back year after year?
Oh my God, yes.
Yeah.
Tons of repeat. More than 50%. I will have kids who come back to magic. They come to the camp specifically for magic, which is pretty neat. I wish that my salary were tied to attendance.
Yeah,
I do a lot better. Yeah.
You just need to have them write that down.
That would be great.
Keep writing it down. Let management know. That's what I said. Let management, if you have fun, let management know. Yeah. Dude, you're awesome. Larry, everybody. This is flying. We are already 42 minutes. We're running through people. We're trying to keep it. Are you guys having fun?
Yeah.
I think it's about time to bring up this crazy cat right here in the third row, Mr. Craig Diamond Guy. Craig, once again, running from a hurricane.
Yeah.
To make it here.
You can mark MAES and hurricanes together.
Yeah, that's all right. All the way from Florida, right off the cruise ship with 30-foot waves recently. I saw on social media.
25 footers. Yeah, 25 footers and 50-mile-an-hour winds.
No thanks.
On a small ship.
No thanks. No thanks. What did you do wrong?
I did.
What did you do wrong?
I did everything right. I didn't have to work that night. Right?
Do you have those stories of the equipment rolling? Like,
No,
there was
you
a
know what?
Goldfinger and Dove said they were in the illusions, and they remember like dancing. And
Oh, yeah. Well, my wife, there have been, over the years, a couple times between cube zag or origami, you know, where I'm turning and all of a sudden I turn back and the prop is starting. When you learn to put locking wheels on the props. So it only takes one locking wheel to keep it there. But after you almost lose something, you know. And
it's the woman that writes the bills and pays the paycheck and cooks the dinner. You don't want her out of commission.
A long time ago, we were doing a microphone suspension, you know, instead of the broomstick suspension. We had a nice Owens unit. It was a beautiful unit, and we would often do it surrounded. In the venues we could do that piece almost surrounded in a 360 situation. And we were in some rough seas one night, and I would just take my wife up into the top position, let her go, come around, come underneath of her, take my bow, and like this, and I turn around to go like this, and if I'm going like this, the ship is doing this, and she starts coming out.
Oh, no.
And I don't need to explain what happens if you come out over the base of this. So as she was swinging, and I'm doing this, I allow her feet to swing just into my hand, all right? And then I just did a 360 around with her, the whole way around. Sorry, all right, did a 360 around, and it looked like it was part of the show. To the point it looked so good, I thought, well, that's a keeper. My wife had another version of that, all right? So it was not a keeper. So, yeah, so there are. Now, the nice thing is generally, when you're in really rough seas, when you're doing the illusions, you don't get the call, all right, because of that situation. However, in the cruise industry, now, I retired the big show years ago, so I fly in and out. I'm always crazy, insane schedule of in and out, but it's a smaller show. So that makes it a little easier in that sense, that you're not doing all the big stuff and flying around. However, what that means is when there are the rough, so I'm not doing the big stuff. I don't have the excuse to say, gee, it's not safe to bring the big stuff out tonight. So on a night when the singers or dancers and there's a big production show going on, or there's a concert pianist, a big name performing, they've got to roll that grand piano out on the stage, and if the ship's doing this, the grand piano will want to do this, so that means that guy can't work that night. And if the ship's doing this, and the production and singers and dancers are performing that night, and the ship's doing this and this, it means the dancers can't work that night. So who gets the call? I've learned to, I know when everyone's taking Dramamine, I look out the window and it's the 30-footers and this, don't answer the phone. So, and unfortunately the last trip I had recently, I did 3 days in a row. I mean, there aren't many people that have material that go out and do 3 days in a row. But I did my usual scheduled show, all right? And the next day we were off of Kodiak, Alaska. We were in very, very heavy weather, and it was supposed to be a production show. Did my show the night before, not an issue, but we were taking some rough ones the next day, production show. It's not safe to put the singers or dancers on. Also concert pianists, they can't move the piano. I was out of my room, not answering the phone. I knew what was happening, and they tracked me down. So then I worked that night.
So they don't want the singers and dancers hurt, but Craig.
That's it. Throw the magician on. Literally, throw him on.
So 3 nights. Did you do shows 3 nights, or did you do comedy? Did you do your show, and then you do your Houdini lecture? What did you do those 3 nights?
I did three different nights of comedy magic. Which is too much, but I don't care if you're Elvis. You don't want to see Elvis every night. You don't love Elvis, but Lovey Tender gets tired after every night. So, but yeah, so the 3 different. Now it's what they want.
It's what
I get a call,
for the cruise directors, all right, Craig, you know, it's either you or we're putting the movie Black Panther on, and the hotel manager really doesn't want to put Black Panther on, it's you. So that's where I rate. Craig Diamond or Black Panther. I don't let it go to my head.
That's a multi-million-dollar blockbuster movie. Or Craig Diamond.
I think that's pretty good. I remember the third night that I walked, okay, and I ride well. I don't get, it doesn't bother me, you know, I'm a pretty experienced cruiser over the years, so I ride the waves, but this was getting a little rough. And the stage has gotten so high tech, they don't have curtains on the stage anymore. You don't have a back wall curtain, you don't have wings of curtain. Everything is now LED screen. So you're able to choose whatever your stage looks like. You can have a beautiful theatrical red curtain, you can have a star curtain behind you, you can look like you're on the beach. It is just amazing. But still, it's not curtains. So these LED walls are about this thick. And I remember the cruise director went out the third night, and she's talking before then. And I am literally standing, and it's getting me. The motion's starting, and the sweat's starting, okay? And the sweat's starting to come off the nose and drip. And I remember I'm leaning up, because the only thing that was cold was that LED screen. And I'm just laying there, like that. And the stage manager's standing, he says, Craig, are you all right? And I said, 2 words. He says, what? I said, Black Panther.
Well, dude, you are Black Panther, multi-million-dollar Disney production. I mean, that's pretty awesome. You are Black Panther. They're putting that there. Dude, you said worst magic trick in 100 years? Rebranded. Most memorable trick. One of the most memorable tricks in 100 years. Just leave it at that, man. It's still, you're not lying, right?
Yeah.
So I'll tell you a little interesting with MAES for me, MAES. So as a kid, I grew up on a chicken farm, got interested in magic.
That explains a lot.
I had to get out.
So, the chicken fuse, doesn't it do something?
You know, the yabba head. All right, my folks had this campground, and I had a little magic kit at that time. So I'd go campground and a retired vaudeville magician was a seasonal camper that was there, and he came up and took me under his wing. He'd been one of the early children's performers on television, a magician on the Sally Star children's show out of Philadelphia, one of the first kid shows on TV, and James T. Warmkessel was the magician on the Sally Star show. So he takes me under the wing, and then at one of the odds of this, the very campsite next to the family that camped one Sunday, they had a friend of theirs that would come up from Harrisburg to visit with them. And he was the president of Ring 20, IBM Ring 20 in Harrisburg at the time. So between Jim and meeting Dr. Letterman, I get into, I was too young, I had to be especially good. I wasn't even young enough to join the IBM at that point, but I was performing as a professional kid performer. So my first MAES convention was 1973, 50 years ago. And that was in Harrisburg. I hosted in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. And then the following, and that year, there was a brand new dealer that everybody was talking about named George Kimmery with a company called Chalet Magic. Right? And that was the first year that George was in there. I bought a nightclub table that George only made that one year that I still have and still use. I don't know why I never built more. I'm glad he didn't because no one else has any of them, but I still have the darn thing from 50 years ago. And then over the years, so I met Mark at the SAM in 74 in Boston, and we've been lifetime friends ever since then. And then I'll tell you the funny MAES convention story. 81?
81 or 82.
I'm on the committee. I was in charge of ladies' activities. We actually had ladies coming to the convention back
What
then.
happened?
Yeah, there were more than 5. Nikki, there were more than 5 back then. I don't know what happened.
5, 6, 7, 8.
Yeah.
8 tonight.
Yeah, they actually had to have a committee person assigned to ladies' activities. Because we had enough women. And that was
I know what happened.
We need to start that back up.
Wait. They said to him. That's why they left.
It was the last year they had ladies' activities. It may have been, I don't know. a troupe of belly dancers to teach the ladies how to belly dance. All right, so that was so we actually had to have a few lady activities during the day for the ladies. Those for the ladies that didn't want to go to the magic lectures. Okay, for the wives that didn't want to go. All right, so I had a troupe of belly dancers. A lady that had a school in the Harrisburg area at the time. So that was mine. However, I don't know if Mark remembers this, probably not, but part of the deal I had with the troupe, belly dance troupe, a wonderful comic magician by the name of Walt Hudson, who was a family member of the MAES for years and years and years. He was the MC of the Saturday night show, so we had the belly dancers bring Walt along, through the crowd. And if you knew Walt, belly dancers were not necessarily his thing, which made it even more, a little bit more of an music, but he worked it real well. And that convention was because I suggested I had a student that took magic lessons from me who got very into the escape side of magic and constructed a Houdini water torture cell. And was performing the water torture cell. A real water torture cell. So we decided this would be great. This was when the convention was at the Emperor's in Carlisle. We decided we'll have the water torture cell out in the parking lot.
That's where I put it. I'm thinking homemade water torture cell.
Well, we were going to do that, but we're going to have all the news in. We're going to channel we had three networks in to cover this thing live. Okay, we went big with this thing. So the first attempt, they raised him up, they lower him, they start to bring him down, and of the 4 chains are holding the lid, 2 of the chains. The thing wasn't right, 2 of the chains go, which almost breaks his ankles. Just about breaks his ankles. That was the first attempt. So they rehang the chain, they take him up again, and they go to drop him down in. They dropped it. Now they take him and he's going down in the water. And they can't get the lid locked around. Meanwhile, he's hanging upside down in the water tank. Now, ticking away. All right, time's ticking away, and they can't get the thing. So we gotta go, bring him up, bring him up, bring him up. So we bring him up. Second attempt. Bring him down, bring him down. So they take him down a second time into the tank. And the news crew, I mean, they're going to here we are live. And so the background is going, all right, second attempt, same thing. They can't get the thing locked up, and you can see it. Bring him up, bring him up. So then we bring him up again, and third time. They take him down a third time, and it doesn't go. We can't do it. I forget who decided this is it.
We said that.
This is it. This is it. This is it. Couldn't do it. And so the background is going, all right, second attempt, same thing. They can't get the thing locked up, and you can see it. Bring him up, bring him up. So then we bring him up again, and third time. They take him down a third time, and it doesn't go. We can't do it. I forget who decided this is it.
We said that.
This is it. This is it. This is it. Couldn't do it. And so the background is going, all right, second attempt, same thing. They can't get the thing locked up, and you can see it. Bring him up, bring him up. So then we bring him up again, and third time. They take him down a third time, and it doesn't go. We can't do it. I forget who decided this is it.
We said that.
This is it. This is it. This is it. Couldn't do it. And so the background is going, all right, second attempt, same thing. They can't get the thing locked up, and you can see it. Bring him up, bring him up. So then we bring him up again, and third time. They take him down a third time, and it doesn't go. We can't do it. I forget who decided this is it.
We said that.
This is it. This is it. This is it. Couldn't do it. And so the background is going, all right, second attempt, same thing. They can't get the thing locked up, and you can see it. Bring him up, bring him up. So then we bring him up again, and third time. They take him down a third time, and it doesn't go. We can't do it. I forget who decided this is it.
We said that.
This is it. This is it. This is it. Couldn't do it. And so the background is going,
is see you next week. Check us out online at wesisley.com and patreon.com/Wes_Isley for behind-the-scenes videos, blooper videos, never-before-seen footage, discounts on merchandise, magic trick tutorials, and more. That's Wes Iseli, spelled Wesiseli.